Hello, welcome back to the Love Island USA Season 7 reunion. I'm your host, Brianna. This is the Socks Off podcast, and we will just be dissecting what the fuck is going on in this reunion. So this is part 3. I know part 2 is a little bit short compared to part 1. So sorry about that, but it's okay. It's all right. We're back now. I'm literally doing it timed to the breaks. Like I said, this is a live reaction. Make sure you have your popcorn ready. I'm going to be doing some segments where you hear what some of the contestants are saying on. And yeah, let's just get into it. Right now, we've got Zach on a Zoom call because he's too much of a pussy to cut. I'm joking, no. No, Zach's on a Zoom call because apparently he just couldn't attend he couldn't be there. And he's doing that thing where, you're on a call and you're like, sorry, what? I can't hear you. Sorry, you're meant to answer a specific question, sir. Why is it conveniently it's cutting out? Your connection's great. You're not pixelated. You're moving perfectly fine. So you can hear very much what everyone's saying. But Maya and Zach are actually calling, Maya and Brian are actually calling Zach out for being performative. And you know what? I know I just said that Brian seems a little bit shady, but Zach is actually shady. Brian seems shady, but Zach is actually shady. Zach is very performative. No doubt about that. I 100% agree with everything that they're saying. They're basically saying that, the energy shifted as soon as Zach found out that Amaya was America's favorite, that Zach was having a conversation with the Casa Boys about, dissecting how to play the game. Yeah, I 100% believe all of that happened. And the energy shifting, we saw that on screen. So Zach, Zach is very phony. There's no room for debate about that. I 100% will stand on that. Yeah. So Austin and Jaden have just come on. And guys, not gonna lie to you, I don't actually give a fuck what the fuck is going on between them two. Like, they're actually pretty much irrelevant. It's kind of obvious that Austin is, number 1, a slut, number 2, a liar, and it's not even that he struggles to be transparent, he just isn't transparent, and we can all see that. The way they literally skimmed over it as well, because what the fuck are we talking about here? Just shut up. So the Stand on Business challenge has been brought up again with, this time it's Iris, Grayson, and Huda that it concerns. Do you know what? Grayson's basically expressing how she just doesn't like the fact that everyone was validating her experience and what her perception was of her and Pepe. So Grayson literally thought that Pepe was into her, Pepe liked her, and if at any moment Grayson had any sort of doubt, the girls would be like, no, he likes you. But the moment the Stand on Business challenge came, that's when everyone decided to pipe up, and everyone being Huda, it was mainly Huda that did it, pipe up and say, oh, Pepe doesn't actually like you. It's clear as day he doesn't like you. And ever since Hannah left the villa, he's not really into you. He's not really into exploring any sort of connection. And obviously at the time, it wasn't clear who made that comment to them. We knew it was Huda. And then they've just revealed to Grayson and Pepe that, and everyone else, that, Huda was the one that wrote that. And yeah, so I'm completely siding with Grayson. I think it's really weird that, Huda wants to put herself as she didn't say this, but this is my perception now. Huda presents herself to be this girl's girl, and she'll, girl's girl. I don't even need to delve into the definition of a girl's girl, but honestly, it seems that everyone's definition of girl's girl is completely different. But I think, the majority can agree whatever Huda's definition is horse shit. So, Andy Cohen, I've remembered his name now. Andy Cohen has asked Huda this question.
Are there any regrets I'm so apologetic of the way that came off. I did not mean for that to hurt that bad towards Grayson at all. Like, I really, really didn't.
That's what you always say.
Grayson's fucking amazing. She's such a mature woman.
God.
Like, she was there for me. She gave me advice. Like, she
Shut
was
up.
the most kind person. And I'm very apologetic for that card. Honestly, I felt terrible.
There's no problem.
I know. I love it. So there's no problem.
Guys, do you know what? Next time Huda gets asked this question again, because she will, I'm going to try and say what I'm going to, not even predict, I'm going to try and say what she says before she says it, but like at the same time, because it's the same damn script. She's singing the same fucking song. Like, it literally goes like this. I kid you not, this is the setup. I'm so sorry that, you felt that way. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. I didn't even interpret it that way. It wasn't supposed to be like that. You know how much I love you? I love you so much. You're literally my best friend. And I told you about my daughter. Like, I love you so much. Girl, I didn't mean it. Girl, I didn't mean it. That's literally Huda, guys. Like, every single time. I don't know. How do you people let her get away with this? How do you people let her get away with this? It's beyond me, man. I don't know. To be a non-black woman. I'm not going to play the whole clip because we'd be here for like 2 minutes. But I can't believe I'm saying this. Even when she said it in the Stand On Business Challenge, I was siding with Huda. Because Chelley, please make it make sense. I'm sorry. Sometimes when Chelley talks, I'm like, you're not making sense. So it's just been brought up, the fact that Huda mentioned to Chelley, she brought back Chris from Casa Amor because she realised that Chris likes Chelley, but Chris also has a little bit of interest towards Huda. And Huda is actually admitting that to Chelley. So she said to Chelley, do you know what? I've clocked that you and Chris have this thing going on. Chris is really interested in you, but Chris is also interested in me, and I'm also interested in Chris. So I thought, because I've got nobody to explore with, mind you, Huda was single, Chelley was still with Ace. Huda was single, Chelley was still with Ace. Thank you. So Chelley already has a connection outside of this Casa Amor situation, but it's Love Island. Feel free to explore, but it's at a certain stage. I can't lie to you, Chelley, you've been expressing that. You and Ace, have been expressing that you guys want to, not be exclusive, but they're giving that sort of energy. But, again, feel free to explore. On this side, I can't lie to you, Huda is seeming more like a girl's girl because she then says, I had the idea that I will pair up with Chris because there is still some interest there. And, I still like him and I can explore that rather than me just being single. And then if it doesn't work out between us, like, if it doesn't work out between Huda and Chris, at least Chris is still there for, at least Chris is there to still explore other connections. And if it doesn't work out between Chelley and Ace, Chelley can go over to Chris and chop it up. And if it happens that them two get together, Huda will 100% back it because, you know what? She had in mind, at least Chris can explore this connection. At least Chelley can have that, connection and explore it. But at the same time, she still kind of benefits from it because she can also explore connection with Chris. I know that sounds really complicated, guys, but long story short, Huda actually did a good deed. She saw a situation where, she is single, but she's like, I'm not going to be stupid. Like before, where I was holding on to one guy and not, opening up to the Love Island experience where my partner can also explore different people. Huda is basically saying, yeah, do you know what? I do want to pair up with Chris and I do see that you guys have a connection. So I am going to decide to bring him into the villa, but I'd also want you to explore that as well. Don't shut yourself off. But just know that I also have an interest in him. He has an interest in me. So we're going to be exploring each other. Hope that's okay with you. Hope you understand. And in fact, the way Chelley's reacting is as if there's some sort of entitlement that I just don't like. Like, Huda's bringing it up to her out of courtesy, and I think, you know what, thank goodness Huda's doing this because the narrative that they would have spun with this, I still don't necessarily like Huda, but in this occasion, I'm going to have to defend her because she knows she knows, like, the way she's being painted. I think she's low-key clocked on, which is so weird because she's in the villa. So how would she know? But I feel like she's just kind of using a bit of her sense and realizing, if I want to properly experience Love Island, I have to be open to exploring connections, and I have to just let it be the experience. So I think this is the part, even when I was watching it, when I was watching it live, I was like, you know what? Thank you, Huda. Thank you. Like, when she was in the Stand on Business thing, I'm pretty sure, like, obviously we didn't see this conversation, but like, seeing how things were playing out, you could see Huda kind of progressing into a more level-headed person. There were moments where she did slip back into her old ways, and honestly, old habits never die hard. Like, old habits don't die hard. Is that the saying? Yeah. It's a habitual thing with her, so it's become a part of her character, which that's why personally I don't like her. But in this instance, sorry, you can see Huda changing just a little bit, and I am proud of her for that moment. And I definitely applaud her. And Chelley reacting the way that she did, like, she seems pissed off at the fact that, I don't know, not even pissed off. She just seems like confused that Huda even came to that sort of conclusion. Like, huh? Like, she doesn't want to admit that it's a good idea. And I think secretly in this moment, obviously not now, like, she's with Ace, whatever, but I think secretly in that moment she was pissed off that Huda was exploring Chris the same time Chris was exploring Chelley. I think Chelley found it uncomfortable that Huda and Chris were getting to know each other, but more specifically Huda being kind of the main pursuer, because if Huda didn't go off and pursue Chris the way that she did, I don't think Chris and Huda would be a thing. Well, no, they're not a thing, but I don't think they would have progressed the way that they did. But then again, like, Huda's there for the Love Island experience. She's single. She has to play the game, so it makes sense. But I think also where Chelley's discomfort comes is the fact that Huda, before, her tendency with men, like, the way she is around men, the way she gets territorial around men is just a bit strange. And then she has this, like, energy of just catting for... She just has this energy of catting for something that isn't hers. And I feel like Chelley is uncomfortable to express that. She's alluding to it, but she's a bit uncomfortable expressing that. But I feel like Chelley, if you see it, say it, sort it. But I think Shelley's the sort of person where she's not going to mention something if there's nothing to back it up from. Like, this is purely like a feeling that she is bubbling within her, but she has nothing to base it off of. But Chelley, I see you, I see where you're coming from, but at the same time, if we're looking at it from a surface level playing field, on the flip side as well, Huda is coming with great logic, but I think Chelley can see kind of past that, and she's like, no, what you're saying is logical, but it's who it's coming from. Like, we all kind of know. And the reason I want to just expand on this more is because the heart rate challenge happened after this, conveniently, but I feel like the heart rate challenge also just goes to like, I think it validates Shelley's feelings more with, you know, Huda. Again, this is my suspicions, this is my theory, this is what I think Shelley's feeling, by the way. But I think Chelley feels like Huda is, like, catting for the men that come around her. Dare I say, I think Chelley is a little bit scared of Huda. Not scared, but I think Chelley senses a spirit of jealousy. Because Chelley is undeniably the most popular girl in the villa. I'm not saying on the show, like, as viewers, no, but I think when you watch how the islanders, like, interact with each other on the show, it was very clear that Chelley was the most popular. That is very undeniable. And I think that did irritate Huda a little bit. And I also think, because Huda seems like a very male-centered female, so I don't think it was necessarily the jealousy of Chelley. I think it was more the male attention that Chelley received. And then the heart rate challenge, the reason why I bring that up, the heart rate challenge just validates that sentiment a bit more, because there's an extended clip of Huda going crazy on Ace. Huda going absolute crazy on Ace. And apparently she was going crazy on Ace for a while, guys. So that's all I'm going to say. Let me know your opinion on that. But I can see both sides. Okay, I can see both sides, but I just... yeah, Chelley in this reunion, and honestly throughout, she's kind of been twisting Huda's words a bit when it comes to this particular conversation about bringing Chris into the villa. And, you know, I don't like that, because, again, as viewers, we're only seeing the objective point of view, and on a surface level, Huda is in the right. I do actually agree with Huda. But if we were to look at it deeper, and, you know, we were to break the iceberg and get in deeper to the nitty-gritties, I think it's a little bit more sinister. I think Huda's intentions were a little bit more sinister than we can imagine. That's just my opinion. So it's interesting seeing the dual perspective. And it's Huda constantly... Let me just play it, guys.
So I understand it.
Yeah.
I understand it, but okay.
I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yes.
Like, truly, when talking about it, like,
That could work.
this would be a good idea,
Okay.
right?
No, it could work. It
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This
Just
is
wrap
all
my
with
head
good
around
intention.
everything. Yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
I think the way Huda communicates and talks to people is very manipulative, and Ace has clocked her for this sort of behavior as well. But it's more obvious when she is like this towards her romantic partners, because it's clear as day. I don't know. It's just really clear when she does it with her romantic partners, but with friendships, it's way more sinister. And with Chelley, you can see the discomfort that she has, because you can see Huda trying to manipulate Shelley's mindset to agree with her. And it's so obvious that Chelley is not comfortable with this idea at all. And as well as love bombing, Huda also carries that into her friendships. So she friendship bombs a lot. She'll use words like, I love you, you know, I love you, right? You know, I'm doing this because I love you, I love you, I love you. And just bombard whoever it is she's trying to manipulate with so much affection that they're completely blindsided and they have to agree with her. Because if they don't agree with her, and we've seen this before when Alondra pulled her up, I think it was like in like the first week, Alondra pulled her up, she was like, you don't need to be doing all of that. Immediately Huda starts crying, and then what is it that Huda says? I love you, I wouldn't do that, I love you, I love you, I love you. Can you relax? What? Yeah, it's this like people pleasing sort of energy, but she people pleases when she knows she's in the wrong, or when she feels like she's going to be confronted. So a way she covers that up is by I wouldn't say charming, but it's her version of charming, love bombing, friendship bombing. And yeah, that's what I've noticed. Let me know if you guys think the same, because it is quite excessive, the way she goes about it, you know. I don't think you need to mention several times how much you freaking love me. And she does it in a way where she knows the other person, because I think Huda is she has some emotional intelligence. She's able to, she has to, she has a freaking daughter. She uses her emotional intelligence to suss out how the other person is feeling. She tiptoes around that, and then she navigates that, and she maneuvers herself accordingly. So if it's that she knows the person is uncomfortable, but she herself wants it a certain way, she will bombard them, she'll love bomb them, and she'll say anything to make it seem like she's doing this for that person, when in actuality, she's doing it for herself, but she's trying to make it seem like it benefits you as well. There's also a part, because I just rewatched the clip a little bit, there's also a part where, again, Huda and her Freudian slips. Listen to this, guys.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of mixed emotions about it.
I know. And you know what?
But it does sound like a great idea.
I knew your ass was going to be like, Huda, don't do it, and I'm not going to listen. So,
did you guys hear that? Chelley's just confided in her and said, do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I do have mixed emotions. What was Huda's response? Let's go back, guys.
you know what?
But it does sound like a great idea.
I knew your ass was going to be like, Huda, don't do it, and I'm not going to listen. So
if Chelley was to actually disagree with her, that would be Huda's response. I don't give a fuck. Are you guys hearing that? Let's keep dissecting this a bit more. Because one thing about Chelley, I can understand where she's coming from. Because, again, it's a deeper thing that we should discuss. And this is what this whole podcast is about. Exploring things deeper and really getting into the nitty-gritties. Because I don't want to just explore the most popular opinion. There's so many sides to the story that we're just completely ignoring so we can be in favour of certain personalities of the show. But I really want to explore this deeper.
I understand it, but okay.
I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yes.
Like,
notice how Chelley's response wasn't, I love you too. Wow, she wasn't elated to hear this thing. But my thing is, when you're in friendships or when you're in these sorts of dynamics where you're talking to someone and they mention an idea, keep in mind, you actually love this person, you care about this person, and whatever this person says, sometimes you may not agree with it, but you're coming in with an open mind. If my sister was to say something like this, and I might not necessarily agree with her, I'm not going to continue saying, like, if she would say, I love you, I wouldn't sit there and be like, yes, just completely robotic and unresponsive. I'd say the same thing too. Why? Because I may not agree with her, but I'm open to hearing the thing. If I actually love her, I'm open to hearing what her idea is. I'm receptive to it. Chelley is she's still receptive to the idea, but there's something within her that she's not ready to, like, she needs time to think about this. And I feel like Huda's completely bypassing that emotional process for Chelley. She's completely skipping that over. She's not validating the fact that Chelley is also, like, this idea is very new to Chelley and she needs to wrap her head around it. She hasn't had time to wrap her head around it. So in Chelley's defense, I can see why later on she has this lash out moment. She has this lash out moment, and it's more because she didn't have time to process it because it was sprung up on her as opposed to her being a part of this decision. But again, in this situation, I still kind of agree with Huda more, but I think it was just important to explore Chelley's perspective. The reason why I agree with Huda more, because she was in a unique position where she was single and she had to choose someone, and the person that she chose actually was interested in her, but was also interested in Chelley, and she made that decision where I'm going to bring in Chris. I can tell he's interested in you, so I'm going to let him explore you, as he should. Just know that I'm exploring him too, and this is for myself. I think another worry and concern of Chelley is the fact that Huda kept on... Chelley mentioned that Huda kept on mentioning that it was for Chelley, when I think Huda should have stood on the fact that she also did it for herself, and that's completely fine and that's valid. You were single and vulnerable. Yes, babe, choose Chris for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But to go off the back end, make it seem like it's for you and Chelley, when Chelley is somewhat confident at the time. She was somewhat confident with Ace. So I just, yeah, I'm gonna end it off there. But this is gonna be interesting. I want to hear what the other contestants have to say towards this. I predict that they're not actually going to be in favour of Chelley. Either Alondra will defend Chelley or she'll just stay quiet. Yeah, I think they're going to defend Huda, which, again, on surface level, it makes sense. If we were to dig deeper, which, honestly, nobody has time for that, but we do, that's why we're here, but if you were to dig deeper, I think you can see both sides of the story, and with Huda's behavioral patterns, it's very obvious why Chelley feels uncomfortable with Huda. Because if it was someone else that mentioned this, someone that was a bit more level-headed, someone like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but someone like Sierra, because Chelley and Sierra have an understanding of one another and an understanding of each other's characters, and Sierra, for the most part anyways, has some sort of respect when it comes to... Okay, do you know what? She doesn't. But she doesn't move like Huda, is what I'm trying to say. If it was somebody else, I think Chelley would have been more receptive. But because it's Huda and because of her past actions, it's hard to ignore where her intentions actually lie. Is it true or is it false? And Huda is trying her hardest to convince Chelley that her intentions are true. So the way she's going about it and the way she's trying to convince Chelley is like she acknowledges the fact that, you know, Chelley is skeptical of her and her intentions, because Huda knows what she did before was a little bit more than just fucked up. It was so messed up. And it's kind of hard to ignore. And yeah, that's... I see you, Chelley. I hear you, Chelley. I completely understand you. And I think there's a deeper conversation to be had when it comes to friendship bombing and manipulating people and completely bypassing people's emotional experience. Because I think I've honestly gone through like an experience like this before with someone where they are so dead set on their opinion that it may come from like good intentions, but because they're so selfish with the way they move, it's kind of like you kind of have to side-eye them a little bit, because it's like, are you doing this for me or are you doing this for you? And you just see that it's a benefit, so you want to bring it up to me to make you feel better. I feel like Huda's mentioning it to Chelley in a way where she wants Chelley to validate her and make Chelley feel like she wants Chelley to turn around and be like, oh my god, wow, Huda, like, well done, wow, you just have a gold star. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. I love you.
So Chelley said, we'll see. I just think with the sort of language that Chelley is using, the body language that Chelley has, the sort of energy that Chelley is giving in this conversation, Huda is very aware, and that's why she's working so hard to convince Chelley, and that's why she's completely bypassing certain things that, you know, she's saying, and then she's slyly hitting her with the I don't give a fuck. Like, I think sinister and snide comments like that are being completely overlooked, and Chelley is uncomfortable. And I don't understand why we're just ignoring this. Like, you know, it pisses me off now, because I was really... Obviously, like, when I first heard about this, I, again, heard it on a surface level. And I'm like, I want to explore this deeper, but on the surface level, Chelley, you're doing too much. But now, like, looking at this interaction, it's making me so uncomfortable for Chelley, because we've seen how Huda's behaved before. If you were to see this clip and not know about any of them, you would have honestly thought, oh, no, well, Huda's in the right. I don't understand why Chelley's acting up. But knowing... Guys, we've watched this show for like 2 months. I think it's safe to say that, you know, certain people will change up their character if it means to get a certain goal that, you know, they want to reach. Like, if they want to reach a certain goal, they will twist and turn their personality in favor of whatever it is that they need to get. And that's kind of what she's done. And then, like I said, just to trace back to the heart race challenge, that really confirmed the the discomfort that Chelley felt. I think it just solidified that feeling that she felt even more. It's just the fact that she couldn't express it, because it's just a feeling that she had. And it's such a like under the surface thing to bring up, that again, on the surface, if you were to bring this up to people, they'd be like, okay, but like, can you give me examples? It's hard to give examples when Huda's doing this on a sinister subconscious level. This is deeper than rap, guys. But the way I'm describing Huda as like the sinister character, I also think she is like deluding herself into thinking what she's doing is right and true. I don't think Huda is literally a villain, by the way. I just think the way she moves, she, I wouldn't say, like, I don't know what the word is. You know, like a bull in a china shop. She's unaware of her actions. She's aware to a certain extent, but she's unaware of the ramifications that it has on people. More so like the emotional ramifications. She's more concerned about how she feels and if she feels okay rather than how her decisions actually affect others. She doesn't really care about that. She just cares more about her emotions. And then if she notices that, you know, it's not playing out the way she thought it would, that's where she'll come to do damage control with the I love yous and the friend bombing and stuff, because that's not what she had in mind. That wasn't the vision she had in mind. Chelley, at the end of the day, is just a vessel to her, and she's just pouring in. Huda's just pouring in whatever, you know, ideas she has of Chelley inside of her. That sounds so wrong. What the hell? But yeah, I think Huda's deluding herself into thinking that she's the good guy. And again, we've seen multiple examples of this where, you know, Huda will run off with a certain narrative and she truly believes it. It's not even like she's so sinister that she's calculating. No, she actually truly believes it. And it's just that lack of self-awareness, I would say. Self-awareness in how your actions can affect others is what she lacks. Yeah. So let's hear what the others have to say. And oh boy, we're going to dissect this.
I'm so happy for you. Like, you have both these guys here and you get to explore them and I get to explore them too. And it's like, that's what my frustration was just keep pushing this narrative of like, I'm doing this for you. I didn't like that. And that's it.
Interesting. Now, guys, if you were listening and if your ears were open, what did I say about Huda being a male-centered woman? I said that. And it's so funny because I don't even think that was Chelley's point necessarily. But she's, again, just put that stamp. Chelley, I'm here to defend you now. I can't believe, Chelley, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Sha. It's not my fault. It's what they put on the screen. I'm just judging what I saw off the screen. Chelley, I'm so sorry. I'm here to defend you because what? I don't even think Chelley meant to, like, bring up a point like that. I don't even think that was her point. But based off of what Chelley just said just now about you get to explore these two guys, why is she saying it like that? Why is she bringing that up? Has anyone that's close to Chelley even has Alondra said that? No. Did Sierra say that? No. Did Iris say that? No. None of the girls have ever mentioned this to Chelley about how she's able to explore two connections at the same time, whatever the heck. And the way, I just know, guys, I know in my heart, the way Huda's brought it up is, and do you know what? It's not even, I know in my heart. We all know in our hearts because we have watched the same Love Island for 2 damn months now. We know how Huda moves when it comes to men. And we know how territorial she gets towards men. And we know how attention-seeking she is towards men. Her and Jeremiah are literally an example. Her bringing that up, you know, Chelley being able to explore two connections, and Shelley's not even deeping it like that. She's not even deeping it like, oh my god, yeah, I'm exploring two connections. But Huda, from an outside perspective, she is single and vulnerable, and she doesn't really get the popular male attention that Chelley gets. Yeah, guys, I knew it. But I don't think Chelley is going to bring up that sort of point because, again, that's something deeper that they'd have to delve into. And it's more based off of sinister and very, like, subconscious things that I feel like only... I wouldn't say... I'm going to say, from my perspective, it's a very girl thing to notice. But, and however, I think some other people in the villa have clocked. For example, Ace. I think Ace is a very, like, observant person. as we can see, you know, he knows it himself, and I really like that about him. I think Ace was able to observe this sort of energy, but Chelley herself more so, because she is the one who's literally experiencing it, and the eyes are on her. And in a way, I can sort of relate to her, because I feel like with some girls, this is a very like real thing, where you'll have other girls are like envious of certain qualities about you, some things that you can't even control. And the example for Chelley is male attention. She can't control that. She's just a popular girl, and she can't control the fact that she has lots of male attention. That's just who she is. She's not summoning these guys to do these certain things. And I think that's what Huda I think that's what Huda craves, but she doesn't receive that. And it's this weird envious spirit around Chelley with Huda. And it's kind of hard for Chelley to talk about this amongst these other islanders that honestly don't have this sort of spiritual discernment. I wouldn't even say it's a spiritual discernment, but it's just more of like clocking certain people and patterns and behaviors, and everyone choosing to ignore this slight thing when it's not even a slight thing. It's exactly her character. Because if we're able to see this sort of behavior with Huda in romantic situations, why do we think she's exempt from behaving like this with her friends? Do you know what I mean? This is how she treats people, full stop. Not how she treats her partners. No, this is just how she treats people, full stop. So Chelley is clearing some things up.
I am focused on that, but I want to say this to you, Huda. This was never a misunderstanding. I never felt like you shouldn't have explored him. I never felt like, oh, it was supposed to be just for me. I never felt like that. That being said, when I came out the villa and things seemed like they were cool and sweet and fine, you were speaking to me, everything, you went on your podcast and was addressing me. And the way you were addressing it was in a way of like, I did this, like, I was clear about it, like, everyone's making it like this and that, whatever. But it's like, you were apologetic at one point, came off a show, went on interviews. You added fuel to so many fires that were already out there.
It's true.
And then now we're back here where it's like, oh, you know, just focus on this. I am focused on my relationship. It was just annoying that you keep trying to be like, oh, girl, I'm doing this for you, this, that, whatever.
Interesting, guys. That is so interesting. So, I thought a lot of the islanders would actually agree with Huda, but it seems like a lot of us are on the same page. Taylor and Clark kind of made a face towards Huda when she was, you know, responding, and Huda now is trying to turn the table and be like, I think it was a huge understanding between Chelley and I think you misunderstood me. Chelley turns around and says, no, I didn't misunderstand you, I understood you perfectly. Period. Collect her. And even Jeremiah, it pans over to Jeremiah in the booth, because he's not on the stage with them just yet. He's also agreeing with what Chelley's saying. So Taylor and Clark, Chelley and Ace, they're all agreeing with what Chelley is saying. Thank you. It wasn't just a theory of mine. It was something that I noticed, guys. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, and she's doing this thing again of like twisting things, and she's even trying to like, she's twisting things and bypassing it. That's what she does. She shoves things under the rug. So she's basically told Chelley it was a misunderstanding, but honestly, I think you should focus on your relationship. No. She is focusing on her relationship, but since this thing has been brought up, let's bring up the fact that you said one thing in the villa, we spoke about it, we hashed it out, cool, it's done. Why are you now coming out of the villa and still talking about it and then making it seem like it's one way when it's not that way? Yeah, I'm kind of done talking about this thing. Again, guys, share your opinions down below, what your opinions are on Huda and Chelley, because this is something, it's deep, man. It's super deep, man. But they're going to take a break. I'm going to take a break. I think I'm going to end part 3 here and then come back for part 4. I don't know who we're going to be talking to, what we're going to be talking about. But yeah, see you guys in the next one.